Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining me today. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing 3 more ways that we can use our pet tape in card making to create beautiful cards. This is all pet tape from the Washi Tape shop, but if you've got washi tape, these techniques will work exactly the same. All pet tape is it's transparent, water-resistant adhesive tape. As the name suggests, it's more like a sellotape. But there is a backing tape on the back which you remove, and then you've got all these sticky images. Now, I have fussy cut all of my images out today because I've only got the tape version. But what the Washi Tape shop have started to create these tapes as stickers, so you wouldn't have to do all the fussy cutting that I've done today. But let's start creating the first card, and I'm going to use this sentiment stamp set from Concord and 9th. This is called Checking In. It's designed by Kristina, Werner, and I'll leave all the links to the products that I'm using today in the description box below. But I really wanted a nice big bold sentiment to start off my first card. Now, because it's quite a big, bold sentiment, I really want the stamped image to be nice and crisp and clear. So I'm going to use my stamping platform. And that just means that I'll be able to repeat stamp if I need to. I'm just using my magnets to hold it in place. And I'm using some VersaFine Clear Nocturne black ink. And that's stamped beautifully the first time. So I'm just going to clean off my stamp with my tidy towel from Gina Designs. And then we can go ahead and carry on making the card. So I'd already pre-cut a lot of the washi tape or pet tape ready for these techniques. Obviously, I didn't want to bore you with all of the fussy cutting. I actually find it quite relaxing to do fussy cutting, so it really wasn't a chore to cut all this out. But the option is there to buy some of their pre-cut tapes, and then you wouldn't need to do any fussy cutting. Not all of the designs have the pre-cut option available, but I will leave a link to the website page where it highlights the pre-cut images. Not all the tapes that I'm using today, by the way, are available as pre-cut, but they do have tapes that are. So as you can see now, I'm just showing you up close how you peel the backing tape off. I always find it easier to turn the image away from me and then peel the backing tape off from that angle. But I know some people are struggling with peeling off the backing tape. So again, the pre-cut strips of tape would probably be a lot easier to use if you're one of those people that were struggling with the tape. I will leave links to all of the products that I'm using in the description box below. I'll distinguish between the washi tape, pet tape and the pre-cut tape so that you know which links are for what. This particular design is the Oceanic Breeze wide pet tape, and it's really, really pretty. It's very subtle pastel blues with a hint of navy and white, and then you've got that lovely kind of sage green or very pale sage green leaves. So really, really pretty. Once I've done all of the floral spray that I wanted to create, I'm just going to trim off the excess using my long bladed Tim Holtz scissors. And I'm doing that from behind. That way I find you just get a much more even, straighter finish than if you were trying to do it from above. And obviously I don't want to cut into the cardstock. You can then just peel off any of those images to cover any gaps that you've missed. And then I'm going to go and attach it down to this matte layer of teal cardstock. I'm just using some Barley Arts glue here. And my card front measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and then the teal layer is just 1/8 of an inch bigger than that. And then I'm sticking it down to a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch top folding card blank that I've just created with some grey cardstock that I had in my stash. I'm going to add a few little pearls just to finish this card off. And I just think it's really nice that with the pet tape you can create this kind of look around the sentiment. Obviously you could do something similar with pattern paper by die cutting an aperture out and stamping a sentiment. But I just think this is really pretty how the tape just blends in. So for our second card, I've got a piece of black cardstock, and I'm going to use this copper pot ink from Lisa Horton Crafts. This is one of the metallic inks from the limited edition trio, and it is absolutely stunning. The shimmer and shine is just... yeah, it's just beautiful. So all I'm doing is just swiping it across the cardstock. It gives a kind of brushed metal look, and I'm just going to bring it up to the camera now, and I just think it's really, really pretty. I hope the shine picks up. But the reason I chose to use the copper ink is because I'm using this Dreamy Merlot wide pet tape from the Washi Tape shop, and the copper just went really well with the hues of red and peach tones that are in the tape, so it just looked a lot better than using gold or silver. So I'm just going to kind of create a floral spray diagonally across the card. And again, I'm just going to peel the backing off the tape and stick those down. The great thing about pet tape is, as you can see there, I stuck it down and then I realised I wanted to overlap that so the butterfly was on the front. So if you're careful, you can peel it back up and stick it back down again. I'm going to add a little bit more at the bottom there because I really want that butterfly on the card. And then again, I'm just going to trim the excess off. I'm just going to mount this onto an A2 card blank that I've got. The black panel, by the way, measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches squared. I've got some black foam tape that I'm just going to use to add some dimension to the back. And I'm going to add some liquid glue to this as well, just so that I've got a little bit of wiggle room when I stick it down. I want to make sure that it's nice and centered. So once I've stuck that down, I can then think about what sentiment I want to use. And again, I'm going to use the Checking In stamp set from Concord and 9th. I thought I would use the Hello sentiment from the stamp set because it's nice and small, so it doesn't take up too much room on the card. I don't want it to cover up all the tape that we've stuck down. And I'm just going to pop the sentiment on some framed squares, and then I'm just going to add a few clear dewdrops to finish the card off. Obviously the glue's looking creamy white at the moment, but it does dry clear, and you'll see that in the close-up photos at the end. But that finishes off the second card, and I really love how this one has turned out. So for the third card in today's video, I've got a piece of lilac coloured cardstock, and I'm going to use the Rose Nocturne pet tape. Now this is a gilded tape, so it's got some lovely gold kind of highlights and gilding on the tape. It's really, really pretty. And I'm just going to add some tape all around the edge of the card. So what I want to do here is I want to kind of create a frame, but instead of die cutting a centre out or doing anything else, we're going to add a die cut on the top of it, and you'll see that as we go. What I love about these pet tapes is that the floral sprays are really quite big, so you actually don't really need to fussy cut that many images to create a frame. As you can see, that last piece I've put down has covered a really good size area of the card panel. So sometimes it looks like you've had to fussy cut a lot, but you've probably had to only cut about 6 or 7 images out. So I've wrapped some of the tape around the back, I've trimmed off some of the excess, and then I'm just going to trim my card panel down a little bit. I trim it down to 3 3/4 by 5 inches, and that will give it a really nice border when it's on the card blank. Now to add a sentiment, I'm going to use these Spellbinders Essential Stylish Oval dies. So I've cut one of them out of white cardstock, and I'm going to use this Thoughtful Flowers stamp set from Gina Designs for the sentiment. I really love that bold, scripty, thinking of you sentiment stamp. It's nice and big. And I'm going to stamp it using some Versavine Clair Twilight ink. So this is a really deep blue, like a really deep dark navy coloured ink, and it's going to match the pet tape that we've used really well. Again, I'm just going to use my tidy towel just to clean the stamp off before I pop it away. And then I'm going to start adding my layers to the card panel. So I've got a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card blank that I've made using some navy blue cardstock that I had in my stash. I'm just going to stick that pet tape layer down nice and flat. And then I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of this oval die where the sentiment's going to be. And that's just going to give it a little bit of dimension. Now I'm going to add a few little gold pearl gems or flat back gems to the card to finish it. And then because it's dark blue cardstock, it's going to be difficult to write a sentiment unless you've got a special pen. So I am just going to add a little white layer inside, but I'm going to use some pet tape just to decorate it. And I think that finishes off the card really nicely. I'm just going to use the one floral spray, and then the bit that I've cut off I'm going to use in that bottom right hand corner, as you can see. And so that's a great way of remembering that if you've got quite a big floral spray, you can cut it up and use elements of it in different places. The tape is very forgiving, so you can peel it back up and stick it back down. And then that just finishes off that card really nicely. So I'm really happy with how these turned out. Let me know in the comments below which one's your favourite. I'm just going to bring in the other two that we created as well so that you can see them again. As always, all the products that I've used will be linked in the description box below. Please don't forget to check out my washi tape playlist for some more inspiration. Don't forget to hit the like button if you've enjoyed this tutorial. And if you'd like to see more from me, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care.